Hurricane Ida forcing many to evacuate their homes and leave behind their pets. To help, area shelters had to make sure they were empty so they could house these animals temporarily and then reunite them with their owners.
But that means the dogs already in shelters had to leave, and that's why 3 pups traveled all the way from Louisiana to Western Mass. Western Mass News reporter Lexi Oliver has the story.
Hurricane Ida barreling through Louisiana, leaving the streets flooded and local shelters also flooded with animals.
Dakin did send staff to New Orleans to actually help a New Orleans shelter because, as you can imagine, they're overrun.
Several shelters in our area worked together to get the dogs out of shelters down south so they could make room ahead of the storm.
People, may be displaced from their homes, meaning the area shelters need to take in animals temporarily so they can be reunited with their animals locally. In order for them to do that, they need to empty out any animals they currently have in the shelters.
Executive Director of Dakin Humane Society in Springfield, Carmen DeCenzo, tells Western Mass News they partnered with a shelter in Salem, which helped transport the dogs. And Dakin got 3, Hannah, Harriet, and Winnie.
Any animal that's coming from out of state, there are requirements. They need to be isolated for 48 hours. And then at the end of, quarantined for 48 hours. After that quarantine, a veterinarian would examine them, make sure they are healthy. And if they are, they can be released and be adopted. They had already been in that shelter in Louisiana for a little bit, and then in a shelter in Massachusetts. They were in fairly good shape. They'd been under the care, they'd been vaccinated.
And DeCenzo says the most important thing is making sure the dogs brought here don't already have homes back where they were picked up.
We're really cautious about the animals we take in when it's a disaster, and we want to make sure those animals that have already been in the shelter, not connected to a person, because you can imagine, people that have to evacuate their homes, then to lose their animal would be tragic. We do not want to break up families.
Yeah. Hannah is currently in a foster to adopt home, while Winnie has many applications in for her and will also be adopted soon. As for Harriet, she has to undergo a few medical tests and then she'll also be put up for adoption. In Springfield, Lexi Oliver, Western Mass News.